Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time. I think the last video I made was me saying that having a boyfriend was embarrassing because that was the trend at the time, and it was really relevant to me because I had broken up with my first boyfriend. And I didn't talk to him for a while. We did end up getting back together a month plus later, and I haven't went into too much depth about my relationship because it's been such an experiment and a thing of trial and error, because it is my first relationship with a guy to that extent, right? Like an exclusive thing, something that is supposed to be very intentional and committed and is meeting my wants and needs, and where I'm not over questioning and where I'm wondering about him and like what this means or whatever. I don't know. There's been so many pieces of data and observations, and having a relationship is a lot, and maybe people don't assess it as much as I do, but I don't know how to be any other way, because my big thing is that I'm not gonna let a man ruin my life. So it's really hard to have one in your life at all and see all the signs and not end up in that place on accident. That's like a huge fear of mine because of all of the stories that I hear. So we've been in each other's lives now for about 8-9 months. We met on September 7th, and we got into an exclusive relationship on, what'd I say? We met June 7th, and then we started officially dating September 7th. That's what it was. And then I broke up with him on November 20th. And then we got back together January 7th. And I guess before I ever talked about my relationship, the relationship needed to happen. I needed to see if this was going to end up being a joke to me, if the breakup was real, if we were really going to ever be anything. And also, there was so much life to happen, right? Like in that time, and just my life and how I was feeling about things. And, the life of a Midwest princess. So many things happened, such as I moved my bed into my living room, and now my living room is the activity room because it was so cold in Ohio that while I wanted to be able to exercise and like to increase the likelihood of me exercising, but there was no way on God's white snow-covered earth in Ohio that I was going to brave that level of cold to just go to the gym when it hurt physically to do that. It was so overwhelming, the concept of going and working out, when my body just felt like it was on extreme energy conservation mode. It just didn't seem like it was healthy to do that, so I didn't. But as a result of not doing that, and as a result of having a boyfriend through most of that time, I was not moving, but I was eating because I had to eat to live to feed myself, but also I had a boyfriend who just like loves to feed me. So instead of slimming down, as such was my goal in the beginning of this channel, and I had slimmed down by about 15 pounds. I have not looked at the scale for quite some time. But I don't feel like I've maintained that weight, and I feel like I've probably added some weight, which is unfortunate. So the weather has broken, I hope, in a sustained way. And so last week I went to an exercise class that absolutely kicked my ass. It was a trampoline class, like it's like an informal haiku. And I think I'm gonna stick with that because my gym membership did expire. And part of the reason why I wasn't going was also just because I don't like my gym anymore. I didn't love it to begin with, but then I just like, it just gave me the ick. There were too many guys, there wasn't any structure, there was nothing but myself to push me, and sometimes you just need somebody who knows what they're doing to like guide you. So I just felt like a leaf in the wind. Aesthetically, I was not happy at my gym. It was just, look, lighting is a big deal for me. If a place does not have good lighting, I don't want to be there. If it's not visually enriching, I don't want to be there. If I'm not even getting what I want out of it and I have to pay money for it, I definitely don't want to be there. Now, my gym membership, you just pay for a year of a membership, and so, you know, there was that, which was good. And doing these classes at this place I found is gonna be like an expense. You're paying so much more than for the gym membership at the place with the bad lighting with the no instruction. So it's an investment. It's a personal investment. And I also got to a point where I'm like, I don't want to worry about feeding myself right now. I can't be bothered anymore. I don't care. I'm burnt out on it. So I didn't even want to get meal kits. I'm like not trying to cook in my apartment because you see that? Like that is my kitchen. That is the extent of my kitchen. And my boyfriend, which by the way, at a certain point, I want to sit down and go through the eras and the developments and the standards and requirements that I have had for my boyfriend and like what the consequences are to things. And you might immediately be like, whoa, consequences? Like, are you disciplining your boyfriend? Like, are you playing games or whatever? Look, everything in life has consequences, and I think it's really valuable to have a roadmap of what yours are. So for anybody, if you do X, I'm gonna do Y. If you do X and it's a positive thing, good reaction from me. If you do X and it warrants a negative feeling and a negative reaction from me, I'm gonna do Y. Now, Y, most of the time, is just a removal of myself, which freaks men out. And you know what? I'm not apologetic about it because lots of things men do freak me out. So I think the most minimal response that somebody could have is to just remove themselves. Like, if you make me feel like you don't care about me, you don't consider me, you don't take this relationship seriously, it's not moving in a way that aligns with me, I'm not fighting with nobody. I'm not. It's not to say that I'll disappear without ever saying a word and go completely ghost, but I'm not having a lot of drawn out conversations about it. I'm also not gonna be accused of nagging. So if somebody that I have an intimate relationship with doesn't notice or care enough to ask about why something is different with me or something is different about the connection, they don't feel inclined to check in, I don't feel inclined to speak, because if you don't ask me as a man, I don't think you're listening. And I'm not talking into the void, because at the end of the day, I don't care to talk somebody into being with me. You don't have to want to be with me. Nobody's making you. Nobody's making you. I'm not making you. I'm just gonna walk away. That's what I'm gonna do. So that is really how the breakup came about. Like, I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for us. Even though there were such good times, but there were things where I'm like, hello? So, I don't know. This isn't a good day for me to sit down and rehash it. I do clearly need to get ready. Like, I've got wet hair. I just finished putting the product in my hair. I need to get ready to go to work. Not have access to a clock. 8:53. Okay, so I need to blow dry my hair within the next 20 minutes and get them into the rods to shape it back into waves. Everything's so much work. Oh, so basically my life updates, I at some point should get what my starting weight is again. Hopefully I'm not in the super negatives where I started from before. I don't know. But I'm going to keep on with the trampoline, the trampoline classes and like other classes that they have that will have me absolutely fighting for my life, but at least I'll die trying if I do die. I'm outsourcing my meals because I have just lost the desire to cook over there. It's too difficult, it's too annoying, there's no counter space. If I make any dishes at all, it's like there's 1,000 of them. I need help, and it's expensive, and it's not something that's great for my budget, but it's worth it to take something off of my plate while putting something on it that's good for me, I hope, because I'm gonna go with Cook Unity. I started getting ads for them. I like that you don't have to actually cook anything, like you're just putting what they give you into the oven, and I have an air fryer, and maybe I'll be able to use the air fryer more than the oven because I do prefer the air fryer. So I have that. I'm gonna get most of my meals sourced from there. I have these trampoline classes and I like the environment. Is it a beautiful place? No, it's like an exercise place. That's something that I should create in this life, like a place for movement for women that is appealing in that way, because I hate going to these ugly places. Like, if I'm paying money to be there, don't be gross. It's not gross, but you know, it's good enough. And I have the motivation of the instructor slash owner of the place. I've actually been referring to her as my fit dom, because she was reaching out to me after the class. She was like, hey girl, do you have any questions about things? Like, let's get you set up with a plan that's gonna work for how many days you want to be here a week, and like, let's do this. And you might find that kind of pushy, but I like it because it's nice to, even if they're motivated by money, to have somebody who cares. And I wish that people felt like that about me at work, like with my clients at Mac. But whatever. Speaking of that, Tiffany is not around anymore. My department manager pushed her over the edge, and also I think that with the way that I am and what I believe and the relationship that I had developed with Tiffany, that me being around, I don't like or trust her husband, to be honest. And I think that he viewed me as a threat, and he got her pregnant, and now she's gone. So if it wasn't one thing, it was the other. Like, Lynette got rid of Tiffany, but also to just really put the last nail in the coffin, her husband got her pregnant, and now she's just back to being a stay-at-home mom, even though she had other ambitions. And just, luckily, I broke up with the idea of her a long time ago with everything going on. So it didn't hit me hard when it happened, because I had already mourned. Like, I had already cried about it. I saw the writing on the wall. I knew that it wasn't going to be forever, and now I'm back to having to do everything alone, and the stakes only get higher. And I'm wondering when the layoffs will come for me. But the thing is, if I get laid off, I'll get severance pay and I can get unemployment, and it might be nice to just have a break. I don't know. Okay, I'll come back later because it's not going to be interesting to watch me blow dry my hair.